way before any human should ever get up in the morning. And put all the rafting gear together and got on the river.
You're doing it slow, go faster.
We've been unsuccessfully fly fishing all day long. Just rafting, hanging out. This is actually a really good fly fishing area. We saw a lot of fish that we didn't catch, but tomorrow hopefully that will change.
Okay, we're using the Kershaw Sea Hunter, and it's technically a diving knife. However, diving knives work great for rafting and kayaking and stuff. The reason being is they positively latch and they function basically the same. Now the good thing about this Sea Hunter is I have that serrated side. Like earlier I said you need to cut fibers with it. Well, serrations excel best when cutting fibers. This one also has a chisel tip on the tip of it. When you're diving, that's good. You can pop open clams and crustaceans and pry stuff off. But when you're rafting, that's good so you don't actually accidentally stab something while you're trying to cut something free. Lower 40s. I mean, it's fresh snow melt cold coming right off the bottom of a reservoir.
And we come around the corner, there was a little rapid there, a little 2+, maybe -3. Not huge, but completely full of rocks.
Woo!
So I was driving and hit a rock and I lost one of my oars and couldn't get it back in the hold, and so then I spun. I got high centered up on a rock.
Didn't quite make it, got hung up on a rock. They spun and bounced it off, but ripped a hole in the bottom of the raft. So we got to pull over for a few hours and get this dried and patched real quick. So if you do hit a rock, the first thing that you do, the very first thing that you do in a raft, your people start bouncing and the person controlling the oar spins off the rock and it won't settle. If you do rip your raft, like if you rip a baffle or something, you have to patch it. It's gonna take a few hours to patch. You gotta dry it, you gotta clean it, you gotta lay the solvent on it, wait for it to get tacky and apply it. But if you're in an emergency situation, for a survival type thing, this is your shelter. This is probably the most durable material you have available to make a ready, quick shelter.
So hopefully this will work until we get home. Remember, when you're in the field, it's just a patch or a band-aid until you can get home and fix it.
I'm getting ready to swap out my hooks because this little guy's usually successful, but what you use is dependent upon the time of the year, and he just swims right past the fish and they just don't even look at it. So I'm going to get something that, some dry fly or something that floats, because there's a lot of little blue-wing olive hatches happening right now, so there's a lot of little bugs floating on top.
I got a fish!
Fish on! Yeah! Woo-hoo! I don't know if it's a big one or a very, very small one. Oh, he's running, he's running, he's running! He's running like a little girl! Wearing him out, wearing him out. Oh, there he was!
Pretty good.
Bam! I've never caught a brown trout before.
That is pretty. It's a pretty big one.
I have a Kershaw 7.5-inch fillet and boning knife here. And I'm gonna use it to cut this trout. Now I'm gonna do this humanely, and I don't want to take this guy's innards out with him feeling it. So I just come right here and behind his back, behind his head, and just make a small little cut right there and go straight down. Well, that thing is super sharp. I didn't have any trouble at all. And I'm going through his spine and effectively killing him. The way you gut a trout is you start right here at his anus or rectum hole, whatever you want to call it, and you just start to slice up him like this. Man, this is one sharp knife. I'm not having trouble at all. And you don't want to go too deep or else you'll get into the intestines and stuff, and it just makes a mess. And you just slice him up, slice up him like that, and then you'll cut that, if I can, with this. I might have to use a pair of pliers. Oh, it did. Wow, this is a sharp knife. Okay, open them up like that. So once you sever all that, you stick your finger down his throat. You do it right, and he should all come out in one show, and then cut that little lining there, and we're good to clean him out. Get all that coagulated blood out of him like that. Scraping right up against his spine. You just clean him out. I usually go down to the river and I'll wash everything out, and yeah, this knife did really well. That tip, which is really all you use in a trout, is because you're just slicing and then you rip it all out. But like say on a catfish, you would cut up around the gill and then run a cut down the back of the fish like this, and then you would take this fillet knife, because fillet knives are really bendy and they twist, and you'd push up against the rib cage and slice and fillet with him. But this the tip of this worked really, really well for just slicing that trout open like that. So yeah, I really like it. It's a good knife.
It's cranked as high as it goes. Yeah, probably limit that for every.
It's about as fresh as it gets. There's the river, there's the pot, or pan. It's good stuff. This fish was alive 20 minutes ago. I started making knives. My first knife I made was this big thing about that long when I was 15. It took me a whole summer, and I had no idea what I was doing, but I really enjoyed it, and I've continued to research and study it. And the last one of the couple recent knives I've made is this little guy right here. I carry this in my pocket almost every day and everywhere I go, and this came from a lawnmower blade. So I don't know exactly what kind of steel it is, what grade it is. It's very hard. It does hold the edge, and I annealed it and heat treated it. It's got a little Kydex sheath, and I just keep it in my pocket. This is buffalo horn on the back, and then this is, I believe, it's high density polyethylene plastic. And then I made some brass rivets out of brazing wire, 3/32 brazing rod.